Well, I want to see the reproduction of. No, I'm. Obviously, I haven't rehearsed this. I'm thinking as I do it, or not thinking as I just want to see what. See, they did this. This came out really good. This is really thin, like the original. Here's the original. Thin. Fold it over, and here's the reissue. Thin, fold it over. That looks really good. It looks really good. I mean, this box, from what I can see so far, is something you really are going to treasure because it's like the original, and you're getting the whole set for $300 or whatever. Let's just look at Sgt. Pepper. See what's going on there. I'll tell you something. You got to really be careful with these plastic outer sleeves that have the stickum. If you're not I mean, this is in general, not just this. If you're not careful with these, and it rubs against another record when it's not closed, and it's a paper jacket, it's going to take up the paper. It's going to ruin the record. So the jacket. So be really careful with that. This looks really nice. This just, without taking. Well, I'll do it right now. So. Okay, so here it is. It's a little bluer. It's a little more saturated, but it's got that real nice quality that the original had. There's a certain quality of, I can't even explain it. It's kind of like mystical. And the reissue has it. It's got all the qualities. It really does. And the red's slightly redder. This is slightly oranger, but it's really close. It's very, very close. Like I have to look. Okay, I know this. The reissue has a slightly bluer, so I know that's it. And does it have all the stuff inside? Of course, it's gonna have all the stuff inside. Look, they gave you the original sleeve, and the thing that if you found a used copy owned by a child who cut it all out and wore their mustache and whatever, it was kind of annoying. And then on this side they have the inner sleeve. Okay, that's very cool. I can't wait to play that. All right, and then let's see. I'm gonna pass by help, and well, I'll show them to you. Why not? But they really do look good. They really look. Okay, now we get to Magical Misery Tour. Now, Magical Misery Tour. This never came out in the UK as a full album when the original came out, which came out as 2 EPs that I have over there. And I should have taken that down, but I didn't. But this is the original American mono, which is very rare, actually. It wasn't produced in large numbers because by then people were buying stereo. I got this copy at Rhino Records in Westwood, and they didn't know what it was because it was in the dollar bin. So, because it says MAL on the bottom, not SMAL. So I knew I was getting a mono for $1, and I took it out. It was in perfect shape. I got all tingly inside, and it's interesting because it's got a different version of Blue Jay Way without all the stuff in the background. So the first time I played it, it was kind of jarring. And of course, the second side is in mono, which is how the tapes were originally sent by George Martin to Capitol, and they made fake stereo for the stereo version, which was bad. And now here's the reissue, and it says MAL. It's there. And here it is. And oh, there's Dave Dexter's fingerprint right there. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, here's something interesting. Is there a typo on the original? Because there's a typo on this one. Yeah, they made a typo. Leave it to me to find it. Okay, this one's really blurry, but it says factory in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Los Angeles, California, Jacksonville, Florida. That's on the original, okay? The reissue says factory, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Los Angeles, Angels. No one caught it. Jacksonville, Illinois. Was it Jacksonville, Illinois or Jacksonville, Jacksonville? This the original is so blurry. Yeah, it is Illinois, but they got it says Los Angeles, the Angels. That's what it really is. You know, I let people who say people will come to this country to learn how to speak English. Let them go to the Angels and the blood of and the body of Christ and Saint Francis. Oh no, it's San Francisco, Los Angeles. Okay, I don't want to get political. Okay, anyway, it's a nice matte cover the way the original is. The book looks really nice. And when they find out about the typo, someone's going to shit. If you haven't seen Love, by the way, in Las Vegas, don't miss it. I've seen it twice. You can see it 10 times and sit in a different seat. You'll see a whole different show. The sound is crazy good in surround sound. And the whole show is, you know, if you're a Beatles fan, which if you're watching this, you obviously are, because otherwise it would be very sad. You know, I've been watching myself over there instead of watching you. I'm sorry. Now the White Album, here's the one. My number is 901-3264. 901-32. Now my original is 0384981. And of course, it's a top loader. This was sent to me by a reader. He gave this to me, which was awfully nice. He wasn't a Beatles fan, which I don't understand how somebody could not be a Beatles fan, but that's the way it is. So, it's got all the pictures, it's got everything in it, it's got the black inner sleeve, top loader. You know, I went to the UK, I guess it was the early 90s, or maybe it was the late 90s, and I went to a used record store in Islington, and they had about 10 or 15 copies of top loaders, and they were selling them at that point for like $75 to $100, and they were mostly in good shape. I only bought one. I should have bought them all because they've all appreciated greatly in value since then. And if I insult you by doing the English voice, tough shit, okay? All right, now, here's the reissue. This is probably the toughest one to get. No, they did a pretty good job of it. It's the paper's sufficiently thick to give it the feel of the original. Fold it over. Numbered. It's embossed. It's raised. Black innards. I'm not going to pull them all the way out, but it's black. And it's just as much. It's difficult pulling this out as it is the original. And now this is an interesting thing. I don't know if you know this or not, but let's see what they did with this. I'm sure they did it right. But on the American originals of this, I know this sounds totally crazy, but it's true. Okay, so you see John and Yoko, the squeal drawing. You see they have genitals. You see that? If you look at your American copy, if you've got an original American, capital airbrushed out the genitals. That's how sick things were in this country then. They're actually as sick now as they were then, but they actually airbrushed out the genitals. And then also, speaking of airbrushing out, there's Paul. All right, it's Paul. If you look in that picture, I think it's Paul. I know it's John. It's John. If you look, he's split between. There's a thing between, and you can see pubic hair. There's pubic hair there. God, these guys were men. If you look at the American copy, they airbrushed out the pubic hair. That's how sick things were. This has it. This has everything. Looks good. We're almost done. Okay? You're almost done.